1.5 miles wide. This island has been called one of the most dangerous places on the planet because it was used to test anthrax on sheep, the island being a testing ground for biological warfare during World War II. The island became so contaminated that it had to be quarantined. Big warning signs were placed saying the island was under experiment and that it was deemed out of bounds due to the ground being contaminated with anthrax spores. Anthrax is a big threat as only a tiny amount could render an entire city uninhabitable for generations. For 50 years, Grenard Island was off limits. The quarantine has since been lifted, but there have been no visitors to the ghostly island. There is a group of islands that are in the Fuji volcanic belt and the Ring of Fire called the Izu Islands. Besides the dangers of 17 active volcanoes on and around the small islands, these volcanoes spew poisonous sulfur in the air, and each one of these volcanoes do this on a regular basis. The area is highly volcanic and the smell of sulfur cannot be avoided or ignored. Alarms regularly warn residents of the poisonous gases, and all residents have gas masks in case there is an emergency, like the evacuation caused by high levels of toxic gas that happened in 2000, which kept residents away from their homes for 5 long years. It is said that the residents of one of the Japanese Izu Islands called Miyakajima must wear masks at all times. Situated 40 miles off the coast of Sao Paulo is an island that the locals call Snake Island. No one lives on this island except for the 4,000 gold lancehead vipers that live there. The island isn't very big, which equates to one very poisonous and dangerous snake for every square meter of land. If you are bitten by a gold lancehead viper, a snake among the world's most poisonous snakes, you have big problems. The poison acts very quickly, causing a host of terrible things from swelling, vomiting, blisters appearing on your skin, and internal rupturing and bleeding, including brain hemorrhaging. This is one horrible snake to be bitten by, and unless you get help within 40 minutes and can get the antidote, you are doomed. Once you understand how dangerous the snake is, you then realize why it's the only animal living on the hot subtropical island, and it has been that way for thousands of years. There is a tiny little Caribbean island measuring just 13 square kilometers called Saba that is a special territory of the Netherlands. What makes this island interesting is not that it is one of the most dangerous places to visit, it is that it has been hit by more severe hurricanes over the last 150 years than any other island in the region. The Saba Island has been hit by 15 Category 3 storms and 7 Category 5 hurricanes. The island itself is the top of a dormant volcano. Despite this, there are 2,000 people living there. It is also home to large coral formations, dolphins, turtles, and sharks. You can also see underwater mountains created by the volcanic activity. However, it is advised to visit the island during winter in the off-hurricane season. In 1348, the bubonic plague broke out in Venice, and if you were sick or caught the horrible disease, you were sent to a tiny piece of land in the middle of a Venetian lagoon called Poveglia Island. If you were one of the thousands who were sent here, you knew there was no coming back. Some estimates say that the number could have been as high as 100,000. It was here that victims of the Black Death were buried or cremated. But that was not all that happened here. In the 1920s, a hospital had been built on the island where crude surgeries were carried out on the mentally ill, such as lobotomies. A doctor who carried out these procedures committed suicide, claiming that the island's ghosts had made him insane. Since these stories, there have been many reports of ghosts and unexplained paranormal activity. One woman claimed that she was attacked by an unknown entity that left her with wounds needing 13 stitches. All tourism and visits are now banned by the Italian government. Réunion is an island and region of France right in the middle of the warm Indian Ocean. It has a balmy climate, and its sun-drenched beaches make it the perfect vacation spot. But these perfect climate conditions aren't just good for humans, they're also perfect for sharks. Since 2011, the island has had a shark attack crisis. The island itself is only 40 miles long, but in the last 5 years, 13% of the world's fatal shark attacks have happened along its coastline. It turns out that an abnormally large population of sharks encircle the waters all around the island. You would think that it is safe to stay on land, but the island's most iconic landmark is an active volcano called Piton de la Fournaise. Despite the dangers in and out of the water, the island is a popular vacation destination. But in 2013, all open water swimming and surfing was banned due to the large number of shark attacks. North Sentinel Island is a place that could be called a land frozen in time, with a people who are completely untouched by modern civilization. It is like the land that time forgot, and the home of the Sentinelese, who may be the last humans left on the planet that are completely isolated from modern society. It is estimated that this indigenous tribe has lived on this island in the Indian Ocean for 60,000 years. This is not a friendly tribe of people who are said to have become hostile when contact was first made. Several other attempts to contact have also ended in violence, with some low-flying aircraft having stones thrown at them and even arrows fired at them. The government of India has since given up on making contact with the Sentinelese, who are now known as the world's deadliest tribe, and there is a ban against visiting there. The people of the island have simply rejected any contact with the outside world for all of recorded history. Ramri Island is a small island off the coast of Myanmar. Formerly known as Burma, it is an island inhabited by thousands of saltwater crocodiles. Some of these deadly reptiles can weigh as much as 2,000 pounds or 907 kilograms. The crocodiles might not seem deadly, but they are, and they can become aggressive and attack anyone that enter their natural habitat. The island and its crocodiles are actually famous for a gruesome incident that happened during World War II. In 1945, fighting between British and Japanese troops resulted in about 400 Japanese soldiers who were forced to flee into the marshes around the island. The soldiers were attacked and became food for the large population of crocodiles. The incident is recorded by the Guinness Book of World Records as the greatest disaster suffered by humans from animals. The Bikini Atoll, located in the Pacific Ocean, belongs to the Marshall Islands. It is popular as the island where nuclear tests were done in 1946. The entire population of the island was evacuated to a neighboring island as the United States would go on to conduct 23 nuclear tests, including the first hydrogen bomb. In 1987, it was declared that radiation levels had reduced to the level that people could return to the island. But it was later found out that the island wasn't as safe as thought. Seafood, plants, and other foods were found to have been contaminated. It is said that the islands are still contaminated and many original inhabitants refuse to return here. A lack of fishing in the area for the last 65 years has brought a large shark population in and around the waters of the island. The Farallon Islands are a group of small islands that are 25 miles west of San Francisco. These islands are off-limits. One of the islands, the Southeast Farallon Island, has a research station where a few scientists work. What makes this island dangerous is that between 1946 and 1970, 47,800 drums of low-level radioactive waste were dumped onto the ocean floor. The exact location of where the containers were dumped is unknown. Not only this, but it isn't known what risks or dangers there are to the people or the environment if the containers start to leak or are disturbed, causing an environmental disaster. There is a large population of elephant seals here which attract a lot of great white sharks.